I'll call this meeting to order. It is Wednesday, February 26, 2025. It is 11:30 a.m. and we're here to review the updated emergency operation plan for the county. And I will turn it over. Could you state your name and your
Dan Martinson, Administrator and the Emergency Manager for the county.
Thank you.
And a recap that give me the right date, last Thursday? Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Last Wednesday, whatever date that is, the 11th, I think, 12th, 30th, yeah, the 12th. We had a hearing, and when we started the hearing, and there wasn't enough information to make a decision on, so we postponed until you'd had enough time to review the plan and do that. So here we are today. I'll recap a little bit that this is an emergency operations plan that we're semi-required to have. Of course, we should have one, so that's the requirement, really. And we had updated it in 2020 with a contractor through the IUEM and through the LEPC, the Local Emergency Planning Committee. And so that was funded through the SHSP funding that paid for that contractor. And then we hired that same contractor, or at least a portion of them, one of the members of that group, to come in and update it for us, which was it's been going on 3 years now, or I guess 2020 to 5. So to update it, particularly for the ambulance service district, had changed the way we do EMS. It had always kind of been run together, but we of course officially changed it to a district, and so it needed to say that in the operations plan. And what the plan is as you read through it, it's the kind of the dictate there, the guidance that says how we're going to work with each other and who's responsible for which parts of an emergency. And in that previous plan, we had adopted a new way of doing the plan. The rest of most governments, they run off of what's called an ESF, Essential Systems Function, or Emergency Systems Function. And so fire does fire, the Department of Transportation does transportation, the different departments do their thing. Well, we don't have that except for fire and then law enforcement, and then a bunch of other districts and a bunch of other stakeholders. And so it's much easier for us to work off of what's called an agency-centric plan. And that's where, what is fire and EMS going to do? What is law enforcement going to do? What is utilities going to do? What is emergency management going to do? And that's a little bit more fluid for the way we do it, because, we've got lots of people that will do 3 of those things as we do it. So it was an easier plan to make effective and make work. And then as we go through testing, as we go through exercises, it's much easier to make sure everybody's on the right page. So the biggest update was just simply the new contacts, the new players, the new numbers, and that kind of thing. Coming out of this, we will do an extension of this, is what's called a resource or a contacts book or a resource binder. And that resource binder literally is like a phone book. It's who's who and who do we call, and where do we get water, and where do we get plumbers, where do we get electricians, where do we get roads people, and then you try to keep that resource book up to date, so that in the heat of an emergency, if we set up an emergency operations center, we can open these binders and literally hand the book to anybody that's not an emergency manager, be able to say, call this person, call that person, get a pallet of this coming, get that, so that's how that's intended to work. So that's in the works too, through the LEPC, is to put that contacts list together. Okay. And so we'll have that. So, but on that, this is the plan. We've gone through it. It's been numerous meetings through the LEPC. So all those stakeholders are the key stakeholders. So particularly our sheriff, particularly our fire chiefs, and those folks have really were an intricate part of that planning. And so they all said yes to it and approved it through the LEPC. And so here we are, because it's an official county plan. The board of commissioners have to actually be the ones that sign it and actually say yes to it. So if there's any questions about it, I'd be glad to try to answer them. And
you have any questions?
No,
I don't have any questions. So the emergency operations plan, it's called, you want to call it January 2025?
Yes.
Okay.
When it comes down to it, technically it's February, but whatever. Like, it's not there's no deadline on or an expiration, and so it doesn't hold us up from grant funding or anything of that nature. So there's no.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the updated emergency operations plan.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's approved.
Cool deal. I'll get you a
We'll sign
specific sheet to sign, and then we'll make that part of the official record, and then we'll have an official copy.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I will put that together and bring it to you for signature. Any word on the MOU for LEAP? Has Ben been able to get that back to you?
Yeah, let me go ahead and adjourn the
Oh,
meeting.
I'm sorry.
I'll adjourn the meeting.